Vice President Biden a chance to respond, and then we're going to move on to the next section.
You don't know the law, Joe.
Vice President Biden, your response.
Know the law, what he's telling you is simply not true.
Well, check it out. They don't come back.
All right, let's move on.
But we don't have to worry about it. They
section.
terminated it, so we don't have to worry about it.
Let's move on to the next
Yeah,
section.
525 kids not knowing where in God's name they're going to be and lost their parents.
Go ahead.
All right, let's talk about our next section, which is race in America. And I want to talk about the way Black and brown Americans experience race in this country. Part of that experience is something called the talk. It happens regardless of class and income. Parents who feel they have no choice but to prepare their children for the change.
I have no idea how to work this shit.
Including by the police for no reason other than the color of their skin. Mr. Vice
The
President,
fuck?
in the next 2 minutes, I want you to speak directly to these families. Do you understand why these parents fear for their children?
I do. You know, my daughter is a social worker, and she's written a lot about this. She's has a graduate degree from the University of Pennsylvania in social work. And you know, one of the reasons why I ended up working on the east side of Wilmington, Delaware, which is 90% African American, was to learn more about what was going on. What I never had to tell my daughter, if she's pulled over, make sure she puts, for a traffic stop, put both hands on top of the wheel and don't reach for the glove box because someone may shoot you. But a black parent, no matter how wealthy or how poor they are, has to teach their child when you're walking down the street, don't have a hoodie on when you go across the street. Making sure that you, in fact, if you get pulled over, yes sir, no sir, hands on top of the wheel, because you are, in fact, a victim, whether you're a person making $300,000 a year person or someone who's on food stamps. The fact of the matter is, there is institutional racism in America. And we have always said, we've never lived up to it. Do we hold these truths to be self-evident? All created equal. Guess what? We have never, ever lived up to it. But we've always constantly been moving the needle further and further to inclusion.
Pushing the needle further.
This is the first president to come along and says, that's the end of that. We're not going to do that anymore. We have to provide for economic opportunity,
Buddy mode.
better health care, better access to schooling,
Oh, God.
better access to opportunity to borrow money to start businesses. All the things we can do, and I've laid out a clear plan as to how to do those things, just to give people a shot. It's about accumulating the ability to have wealth as well as it is to be free from violence.
President Trump, same question to you, and let me remind you of the question. I would like you to speak directly to these families. Do you understand why these parents fear for their children?
Yes, I do. And again, he's been in government 47 years. He never did a thing except in 1994 when he did such harm to the black community. And they were called, and he called them super predators. And he said that. He said it, super predators. And they kept never lived that down. 1994, your crime bill, the super predators. Nobody has done more for the black
I can't figure this out.
than Donald Trump. And if you look,
Streamlabs is hard.
Of Abraham Lincoln, possible exception, but the exception.
So apparently, Bill Clinton and Joe Biden sold cocaine and inhaled it.
Obama and Joe didn't do it. I don't even think they tried because they had no chance of doing it.
Donald Trump did cocaine but didn't inhale.
To see the arms I had to twist to get that done. It was not a pretty picture, and everybody knows it, including some very liberal people that cried.
Not primed.
They cried in the Oval Office. 2 weeks later, they're out saying, "Gee, we have to defeat him."
So Joe Biden didn't inhale the cocaine, and Obama did.
With Tim Scott, a great senator from South Carolina, he came in with this incredible idea for opportunity zones. It's one of the most.
This is working great.
People don't talk about it. Tremendous.
Definitely not investing in Streamlabs.
Beneficiary, the black and Hispanic communities, and then historically black colleges and universities. After 3 years of coming to the office, I love some of those guys. They were great. They came into the office and they said, I said, what are you doing? After 3 years, I said, why do you keep coming back? Because we have no funding. I said, you don't have to come back every year. We have to come back because President Obama would never give them long-term funding. And I did. 10-year long-term funding, and I gave them more money than they asked for because they said, I think you need more. And I said, the only bad part about this is I may never see you again because I got very friendly with them. And they like me and I like them. But I saved colleges, and universities.
Okay, and we're going to talk about both of your records, but your response to that, Vice
My
Chair.
response to that is I never, ever said what he accused me of saying. The fact of the matter is, in 2000, though, after the crime bill had been in the law for a while, this is a guy who said, the problem with the crime bill, there's not enough people in jail. There's not enough people in jail. And go on my website, get the quote, the date when he said it. Not enough people. He talked about marauding gangs, young gangs, and the people who are going to maraud our cities. This is a guy who in the Central Park Five innocent black kids, he continued to push for making sure that they got the death penalty. None of them were guilty of the crimes they were suggested. Look, and talk about granted, he did in fact let 20 people, he commuted 20 people sentences. We commuted over 1,000 people sentences. Over 1,000. The very law he's talking about is a law that in fact initiated by Barack Obama. And secondly, we're in a situation here where the federal prison system was reduced by 38,000.
I'm learning how to stream.
And one of these things we should be doing, there should be no minimum mandatories in the law. That's why I'm offering $20 billion for states to change their state laws to eliminate minimum mandatories and set up drug courts. No one should be going to jail because they have a drug problem. They should be going to rehabilitation, not to jail. We should fundamentally change the system, and that's what I'm going to do.
Why didn't he do it 4 years ago? Why didn't you do that 4 years ago, even less than that? Why didn't you? You were vice president. You keep talking about all these things you're going to do, and you're going to do this, but you were there just a short time ago, and you guys did nothing.
We did.
You know, Joe, I ran because of you. I ran because of Barack Obama, because you did a poor job. If I thought you did a good job, I would have never run. I would have never run. I ran because of you. I'm looking at you now. You're a politician. I ran because of you.
All right, Vice President Biden, your response to that, and then I do have some questions for both of you.
Well, I'll tell you what, I hope he does look at me, because what's happening here is, you know who I am, you know who he is, you know his character, you know my character.
I have to figure out the stream error because it says health bad and I don't like it.
I am anxious to have this race. I am anxious.
Please use the keyframe frequency. Keyframe frequency.
Our characters in the battle.
I think that has to do with my bit rate.
It's true about Russia, Ukraine, China, other countries, Iraq. If this is true, then he's a corrupt politician.
Keyframe
so
frequency.
Don't make the stuff about how you're this innocent baby. No, they're calling you a corrupt politician. Nobody.
President Trump, I want to stay on the issue of race. We're talking about the issue.
From hell.
President Trump, we're talking about race right now, and I do want to stay on the
Keyframe
issue.
frequency.
President Trump,
Advanced.
please,
Look,
very
there
quick.
are 50 former
Leave it at
national
5.
intelligence folks who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plan. They have said that
Let's try the
this
bit rate.
has all the 5
2500.
CIA, both parties say what he's saying is a bunch of garbage. Nobody believes it except the
Group of
he and his
fixture
good friend,
sizes.
Rudy Giuliani.
You mean the laptop is
It's working fine.
the Russia hoax?
That's exactly what.
This is where you're
exactly what.
This is where he's going. The
That-
laptop is Russia,
Yeah.
Gentlemen,
Russia.
I want to stay on the issue of race,
You
okay?
have to be kidding. Here we go again with Russia.
We're going to continue on the issue of race. Mr. President, you've described the Black Lives Matter movement as a symbol of hate. You've shared a video of a man chanting white power to millions of your supporters. You've said that black professional athletes exercising their First Amendment rights should be fired. What do you say to Americans who say that kind of language from a president is contributing to a climate of hate and racial strife?
Well, you have to understand, the first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting pigs in a blanket, talking about police. Pigs, talking about our police. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. I said, that's a horrible thing. And they were marching down the street. And that was my first glimpse.
So Black Lives Matter is bad. We know. We know, Fox.
My relationships with all people, I think I have great relationships.
Black Lives Matter is bad.
I am the least racist person in this room.
Well, what do you say to Americans who are concerned by that rhetoric?
I don't know what to say. I got criminal justice reform done and prison
I don't know.
reform. And
All right, I'm done streaming.
I took care of black colleges and universities.